Welcome back.
Good morning from the west coast of Canada. I'm your host, Moreno, also known as the Customer Acquisition Architect from Vancouver Media Marketing. Now, handing over to your fabulous co-host to introduce herself.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Deborah Reynolds. I am an image, mindset, and transformation expert, owner of About Face Image Consulting, and actually from Kelowna, British Columbia, formerly Vancouver. Always happy to be here with you, Moreno.
Today, we will discuss the 5 modern marketing rules that have not changed over time. A reminder for viewers, you have a question, type it in the chat and we will address the question either at the end of the session or after. Deborah, you have 5 questions for us to discuss.
I do.
To throw the first one into the ring.
I do. So why is being seen and heard online still an important marketing rule?
You know, the answer to that question should appear obvious to everyone because one needs to be visible to be able to interact with that person. Unless that person can be seen and heard, we don't know about that person. And in the world of business, people with solutions need to be top of mind when we have a problem. The best way to be top of mind is to be seen and heard regularly in many places, certainly more places than one. Otherwise, one is easily forgotten, especially today, Deborah, where there is so much happening, there is chaos, confusion, and people are easily distracted. Therefore, we need to be there. Would you agree?
Definitely, I would agree. So that element of being seen and heard, the idea of being noticed, we have to be noticed, is an essential ingredient in marketing for the sole purpose that if you are promoting yourself, your services, and your products, you have to have the confidence and you must have the certainty in who you are as an individual and in your products and services to be able to deliver. And that requires the visibility, being seen, and also to be able to express how you can help and serve other people, being able to solve problems, as you were saying, providing the solutions, and to be able to express why it is that you are the best service. You are the best solution for the client. So if we choose not to be visible and not to be seen, you're quite right. We actually are forgotten. And those individuals that have that confidence to speak up and to talk about their brand, talk about their business, these are the ones that are going to be noticed. And so people are going to be gravitating in that direction. Totally makes sense.
Also, we do not need to be seen everywhere. Even Coca-Cola is not everywhere. However, like Coca-Cola, we need to be seen somewhere now and then. Otherwise, we are easily forgotten. It's the only way to get known, liked, and trusted, which takes time. It doesn't happen overnight.
You make a really good point there because Coca-Cola is not everywhere, but where they are is where their clients are. And that is really key, is identifying first the target market and clients that are needing and wanting our services, and then showing up and being visible in those locations where those individuals are showing up. So these are all really important elements of marketing for sure. Can I ask you another question there, Moreno?
Certainly.
Good. So this is around the second marketing rule, which is, why is regular new content a necessity to be created?
To stay fresh. things become stale, and it's just human nature to want to see things evolve, change. People seem to not like or disregard, pay less attention to, consider less important when they've seen it before, and it appears to be a rehash of the old. To stay fresh means posting something new or creating something new, say twice a month. When it comes to videos, ideally posting one a week would be great. It's what people want. People want to see new. People want to see current. And things are changing all the time. If we stick with anything that is old, we just know that it's obsolete, that it probably doesn't work anymore, and that there must be something better, because innovation is happening all the time. Products and services are improving all the time. We want what is best. We want what is current. Deborah.
Yeah, that really makes sense, because here from an individual point of view, it is our nature, our innate nature as spiritual human beings. We want to grow and we want to develop. So if we're seeing the exact same thing over and over again and it's very stagnant, we don't grow and we don't evolve. And so we become bored with that content and thinking there's nothing new here. I already know it. I've been exposed to it. Maybe I've implemented, tried it, and working on it. But we want to be able to get to the next stage of our evolution. So having that new content becomes really important. But also the new content is very much a story. It is one piece building on another and creating a bit of a story in terms of how the client can evolve and grow, but also what it is the business owner has to share in terms of additional products and services, or that they are constantly growing themselves so they can serve their clients in a better way.
You used a very important word there, story. It's what people want to hear. People want to hear stories. Stories are memorable, and it is easy to listen to stories. So when we have something new to introduce into the marketplace, be it a product or a service, it's always preferable to include it in a story, because people can relate to stories. Stories are memorable and they're just more interesting. Imagine if there's a new product or a new service and it just gets thrown out there on its own with no attachments, nothing additional to surround it. It becomes boring and probably gets easily missed. Actually, with everything that is out there, it would definitely be missed and not remembered. Whereas a story, because we can relate to it, is much more likely to be remembered.
Yeah, and the stories can come in a variety of different formats. One of the formats is where people are struggling and having major challenges, how this product helps people move forward, and to get them out of those difficult situations. Also, story can be very future oriented. People are aspiring for this great success, or this result in their life, or this particular outcome. And so people are identifying with where they're at right now and where they want to go to in the future for a new experience or a better experience or a better outcome. So they know that products and services are, that's where I want to get to. That's the solution. That's the result that I want. So they move in that direction. I mean, those are just sort of two examples of simplified stories of how people can move forward.
Yes, a story has a beginning and an end, and there is motion in it. Motion moving forward. Is there another question you have, Deborah?
I do. So why does the 80-20 rule, how does it apply in marketing?
This is so very important, because most people spend too much time creating content and too little time promoting it. And the reason why is because it's so much easier to create content and it's really hard to promote content, to market it, to advertise it. It's difficult because we are dealing with people. We need to attract their attention. And to attract and hold people's attention, we need to be very creative. We need to be very innovative. And that requires effort. We need to think. And also, these solutions don't come to us immediately. It takes time. It's an iterative process. We need to do it again and again. And with each iteration, there is an improvement. We see new ways to connect with the customer, to convey this information to the customer in an informative and interesting manner. Whereas,
yeah, you made some good points there about doing it again and again, which is the consistency which comes with the promotion, which is so important, because a lot of people feel they promote for a period of time and then they stop. And even online, those algorithms kind of disappear and they shift and change. So people will quickly forget about you. You're not going to be in front of people all that often. That consistency and the persistence, the not giving up mindset becomes really important.
yes, connecting with people, it's an iterative process and it takes time, and the results are not immediately visible. You see, when we create content, we feel we're making progress. I mean, we see it happening. We are developing it, making it in front of us. However, when we promote something or market it, the results are seldom immediately visible. It takes time. And most people become disillusioned and give up too soon. That's why it's commonly said that the most successful salespeople are the ones that persist. It's said that to make a successful sell on average, the salesperson needs to make 7 connections with the prospect, and that takes time. And it means doing the same thing or with a small variation over and over again. One needs to be persistent, and it's difficult to do, especially when one feels one is rejected. And because of this difficulty, it's easy, and most people do it without realizing it. They switch the 80-20 principle around. In other words, they spend 80% of their time creating content, although they know they shouldn't, and spend only 20% promoting it. So we need to keep in mind, make a conscious effort, pay attention to, okay, so much time has been dedicated to developing the content. Stop. Now I need to make an effort, no matter how unpleasant it is, because results are not immediately visible, towards marketing what I've just developed.
Yeah, really great points. You'd mentioned a couple things that are really critical here. You talked about the thinking aspect when it comes into the promotion. The thinking is all the way through, I believe it's all the way through the process. You're really thinking about intentionally creating content that is going to serve, but after it serves the needs and wants of the client, solves the problems, but it is directly related to what it is that you are offering and how you can support the client. You brought up the issue too of rejection. So I believe a really important part of this 80-20 rule is the majority of effort needs to be in the mindset piece, because if people are wanting to be seen and they're wanting to be heard and they're concerned about the rejection and they're not very confident about whether they have the right products, services, developing the right content, delivering it in the right way, sending the right message, this has a lot to do with confidence. So everything is around the mindset piece. So I believe that when you're running a really good business and you're marketing really well, The content, the promotion, and all mindset, all of these need to be woven really closely together and work together, where there's real thought behind the process, as you were saying, how critical thinking is. Thought behind the process, there's real intention behind the process to be able to personally get the results as the business owner, but you're getting the results, you're getting the results for the client that make the difference. So you're actually reaching the client who needs the product and service, and you're creating this great relationship between you and the client.
Sales is a very, very difficult job, and it's all about getting results, which take time. One has to persevere, and it's all about overcoming rejection. And to overcome rejection, as you say, one has to be confident. Rejection and confidence go hand in hand, because if there's no confidence, rejection takes over and very quickly stops that person in his or her tracks.
Yes, I believe that the whole mindset piece and the marketing piece is really an internal game. It's being able to show up, be visible, but being able to serve the client with the greatest confidence, the greatest certainty that you are the best solution. And I think that's really critical. So I have another question for you, Moreno.
Yes.
So why is marketing, in terms of one of the rules, why is it a long-term process?
Good question. It's because of the incubation period that can best be described in three parts, three phases. The first one is to get known. And that is probably the easiest, because to get known, we just need to be seen and heard online, offline too. However, after that, we need to be liked. Incidentally, before I continue with this trajectory, the rule is that we do business with people that we know, like, and trust. So I've talked about getting known. The next is getting liked. And that is a function of time too. It takes time. We don't immediately like somebody. We immediately get to know somebody. Well, I mean, there he or she is, and we just heard them speak. Now we know them. Big deal. That's it. There's not much in that alone. We need to like them first, and that takes time. We need to see and hear them more often. In other words, we need to see them more and hear their different stories. And that way we get to like them. And of course, finally, the most important is trusting the person, because only then will we seriously consider exchanging our hard-earned cryptocurrency for what they're offering.
Those are all really good points. And you know what, when you're talking about this know, like, and trust factor, this really, it comes down to the relationships. I mean, when we're creating friendships, we're building relationships with people, we're wanting a relationship with a lifelong love and partner. We are thinking this is a long-term relationship. It's part of the process. We're not thinking, oh, I'm going to make her best friend for 2 weeks or a month or even 6 months. It's like, I want a best friend. This is a lifelong process that we're thinking of. And so in business, I believe it's the same thing. You know, a lot of people are thinking, I'm only in business for a certain period of time, then I'm going to sell the business. Maybe if it's not working, I'm going to shut the business down. However, if you are really believing in your product and service and you're playing the long game in business, the promotion and the building of relationships with clients, with other vendors and suppliers, other business people, creating collaborations, joint ventureships, partnerships, these are long-term gains built on great respect with each other. And so, and respect for each other. So everything about the marketing, which is your method of communication, needs to come from an inner mindset piece of the long-term gain. Great information, Moreno. Great information.
You raised an important point that These are long-term relationships that should last forever. And there is a lot of value in that. For example, a person that's just come to mind is a very successful health and insurance agent whom I know, who has reached the point of retirement, and she has a thick book like this of customers, happy clients, whom she can now hand over to someone else who is going to run the business, who is going to buy the business. This person is buying that very valuable black book with all these very, very valuable list of clients that have taken a long time to find and nurture and add as satisfied clients to her book. You know, this takes at least weeks and more often many months to move a hot lead through to a paying customer. Sometimes it takes years. However, once that person is a happy customer, then that customer becomes a repeat customer. And we've heard that number, that it's 6 times easier to sell to a satisfied client.
Absolutely. I have a really brief story around that, which is when we were at the coast in British Columbia there. We had lived in our home for 28 years, and we knew that we eventually would sell, downsize, whatever it is that we wanted to do. We were playing the renovation game and intending to be there for a long period of time. However, we then decided that we actually wanted to move to the Kelowna area, in wine country area with true Four Seasons and beside the lake, that sort of thing. So the relationship with a realtor is a really important relationship. We only had one realtor over the years that consistently stayed in touch with us and communicated and called back and called back and called back when he said he was going to call back. And he maintained that level of consistency, that level of trust, just to say, hey, are you ready to sell? Just checking in. Nope. But he kept calling back. He ended up being the realtor that we ended up selling with. And huge success, and we were very, very happy with the process. It was excellent service. But that is an example of communicating on a regular basis, building the relationship, maintaining the relationship, and being consistent in the process and persisting and doing it in a very respectful, kind, and loving way. And it resulted in him getting a client. We sold our house and we bought the house that we are loving, and so much more than we loved the other home. So that it is a long-term gain. And there are keys and processes on how to make that happen. So I do have another question for you. Our final question, Moreno.
You cut out. Repeat that.
Certainly. So I have one more question for you.
And that question is?
Why is simplicity in marketing the best strategy?
Kiss. Keep it simple. And the word that's dotted out is stupid. Keep it simple, stupid. For many years I was in project management, and amongst the many rules in project management, 2 are: 1, learn to say no when you need to say no. You can't do everything, and people always ask for this and that to be added on. No, cannot be added on unless there's a revision of the scope, which is going to cost you money. And the other rule is keep it simple, stupid. It is so very important to keep things simple. Sometimes I have the tendency to overcomplicate things, only to realize too late when somebody reminds me that it could have been explained more simply. And maybe that's a sign of a genius, a person who's able to present things in a simple fashion, in a way that can be easily understood by everyone. like Einstein with his energy is equal to mc squared. So simple, yet there's so much information there helping so many people. And with what we do as well, it is very important to keep it simple, especially now. And we're talking about marketing. Marketing has become so confusing because of the internet, because of social media. I mean, if we go back several decades when there was only print, well, then there was print and radio, and then print, radio, and television. And that was about it. And that was relatively complicated at the time. However, now it is immensely complicated. Look at all the methods, tactics, tools that are available online for marketing, for promoting our services and products. It's just overwhelming. Something new comes out all the time. And if all of them had to be listed, they would run into the hundreds, maybe even into the thousands. It's because there are so many people believing that they've got something new, introducing it into the marketplace, trying every which way to market it, broadcast it. Some people fall for it, many don't. And this is how it is continually evolving. And the reason why many fall trapped to this is because of FOMO, the fear of missing out. They need to look at everything. Maybe there is something there that will help them, that if they don't know about, they will fall behind. And these are mainly the people that chase the silver bullets. There is no silver bullet in marketing. Silver bullets don't exist anywhere. People are constantly looking for the shortcut, the easy way to getting results, and those easy, fast, overnight results don't exist. Deborah?
Yeah, you brought up a lot of really good points there, because there are so many marketing strategies and there are a lot of new ways of doing things that are constantly coming up. What I'm seeing with business owners is a couple things. Number one, a massive amount of overwhelm. Is they look at all the different marketing strategies that are possible, and they're probably told by many business coaches, you need a marketing budget. And but I actually run across a lot of business owners that go, I don't actually have a budget set aside for marketing. And so, but what it is you're very right there, Moreno. People want fast solutions. They want simplicity, but it may not always be possible to get fast. And what you and I are discovering is the success in marketing has to do with direct connection, authentic relationships. And when people are overwhelmed with the variety of things that they have to do, not only in marketing, but in every other facet of their business, they get scared thinking out, okay, this is the key, the secret that'll make everything change in my business. So you're quite right. People get caught up in this FOMO of fear of missing out. So they want to jump on this and then realize, this is not working. And so I think the simplicity of marketing, and you and I have discovered this over time, is the direct connections with people and reaching out with people and building genuine relationships, which does take a little bit of time, but so worth the effort. Because if the intention comes from building a genuine relationship, and then you're coming from a place of serving, that heart and soul is there within us, people can feel that genuine energy that these people want to help and they want to serve. But you need to, from a marketing standpoint, you do need to simplify the process, reduce the amount of time in marketing, be consistent and persistent to reduce the overwhelm, so that you feel it's a fun process to market and not something like, oh, I gotta market, because that's not going to get the results at all.
I want to end with the solution that we have. We have the tactical solution to marketing, Deborah, that micro business owners need to be seen and heard online live. they need to appear online where their target niche can see and listen to them. And the beauty of that is that these live online events get recorded, which is an ideal way for creating marketing content, video content, where short marketing videos can be created and posted online for people to see 24/7 from the comfort of their home or office when it suits them. And these are also called native videos or videos on demand. So people need to create live events, and an off run from that is virtual short marketing videos.
Highly successful.
As simple as that.
It is.
Deborah, we've come to the end of our 30-minute session this morning. Do you think that we've given our viewers useful information this morning?
I think we have. There's a lot of really good nuggets in today's session. So I hope people they get an opportunity to watch it, rewatch it, take notes, and then really think about what's going to serve them best in the marketing strategies. And we are here to serve. Thank you, Moreno.
And for that, I thank you, Deborah. To our attendees, we hope that your time with us was well spent. To your continued success and good health. Goodbye until next time.
Bye, everyone.